That was a great opportunity for me. You can be the best player ever, you're not gonna succeed. If I wanna do anything with Padel in this country, it's gotta be in Miami. You know, every match is different.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen with this. Like, pickleball is made for Americans. We wanna make Padel for Americans too, in a way. That's gonna change soon. Wow, this sport has so many things about it that you can learn.
Welcome to Padel. Today we have a very special guest, Guillermo Jiménez Cagigas. Long time willing to have you here, I must say, and I'm very happy to have you.
Thank you, Rosa. Thank you. Long time no see. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming back to Miami just for the podcast. I'm really happy to be here with you.
Yeah, but this is the last one that I record here in Miami this year, so we're like finishing on a high note, as they say in the opera.
Closing the year the right way.
Exactly. But I wanted to talk to you for many reasons. One of them is related to your mom, because I think she's one of the persons that always consume my content. So there's someone called Ángeles Cagigas that is always there. So Ángeles, this is for you. Your kid is doing well. I'm very happy to have him here in Miami. And for those that don't know you, I would say that you are kind of a man of all trades Padel, in the way that you are an excellent coach, also a business manager, plus a great player. And you're like, since you started playing Padel, you are on the, I would say, top 20 at least every year here in the US, but always willing to improve, which is something that here in Padel we appreciate a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Rosa, for all those compliments.
No, but
well
at
the end, all those things that are related to Padel, that it's like my job, it's my passion. I see it as my hobby. So for me, it doesn't even feel like work sometimes. So it's good.
Yeah, there's that kind of, let's say, advice that I always say that don't follow your passion. So you went to college, you have your degree, you have your master's, and you decided to get into Padel. So what's your story? How did you get to the US and what did you study?
It's been a nice journey. I would have never thought about this, that I'm gonna be here in Miami in 2025 playing and teaching Padel is something that if you tell me in 2018, which is when I first got to the US, I came with the idea of playing tennis in college, getting a degree and having fun. Learn the language, learn the culture, and I graduated. I didn't know what to do. Okay. I knew that I was done with tennis and competing.
But you came with a tennis.
I came with a scholarship to play D1 tennis in NCAA, and I went to Longwood University in Virginia, and that was like amazing for me. That was like life changing. Because I had many friends that also had the opportunity or that actually came to the US as well before or after me, and like I feel like it was a tough choice to make back then, because you know, you have like this FOMO of leaving friends and family behind, and you've never been in this country before, and so many new things that I felt like.
For you, it was the first time in the US?
Well, it wasn't, because in 2016 I went for a month to Tampa with the same agency that got the scholarship for me. So it was like a tryout for me to see if I liked it here. And I stayed with a family there. I love Tampa, by the way, amazing city. And that's when I made the decision of like, okay, I like this. It's a big risk. I don't know what's going to happen with this decision, but I'm going to go study in the US. So I decided that in 2016.
How old were you then?
16.
16 years old.
I'm born in 2000, so I was 16. I prepared everything, my video. I was still, you know, finishing my studies in Spain, which it was important to do, and it wasn't that easy. And as soon as I finished that, in August 2018, I moved to Virginia.
Okay.
Farmville.
And how is college tennis?
Wow,
because
so different.
It's very different from the background you had in Spain, I guess.
Very different. I always liked team competitions. I was always like a good team player. Tennis is very individual, you know, it's like you play alone many times, but like we, as a club, we had great players in Spain, and we actually won the Spanish championship when we were under 16 with my club. So
your club is in Alcalá?
Alcalá de Henares, yeah.
Okay.
CET Alcalá tennis club. So we won the Spanish national title as a club and everything. We always enjoy those weeks the most. And then, you know, like we play just regular tournaments, so you play alone basically. And coming here to the US, you go and it's like, okay, there is not like playing alone anymore, it's all teams. And you gotta see where you play in the lineup and if you play doubles or only singles, and then you have all your teammates cheering for you outside, screaming like crazy. So the environment and everything is completely different. You get to play against other teams that they're in your conference, and you face them every year, so that creates the rivalry, and it's a nice experience. At the beginning, you're a freshman, so they are like, oh, you're the rookie, you have to learn the ways, and you learn the culture of the team. That many times it depends on the coach that you have. He is the one that is like, okay, these are our standards, and here is the captain in your team. And I mean, that changes through the years. I had 2 different coaches and they were very different, and you learn from both. But it was a great experience.
I see. And how was, like, make it comparable between college, like studying, and performing in sports? Because it's not just training and playing, you had also the pressure to keep your
I mean, honestly, they here in this country, they help you a lot with that. Like in colleges, you see how many of the professors are willing to help you. They know you have competitions, and they're flexible. So in that way, it was easy. Honestly, I had a much worse time in Spain studying, that I had to actually stop like for a couple months playing tennis because I had to focus on studying. And in the US, you never have to do that. Like you have time for everything. So in that sense, it's good.
That's great.
Yeah.
And how did you discover paddle? Because now you're 100% paddle. That's your life, except like Wilson. You're a very Wilson guy.
Yes.
And I know you like it, and I can feel that it's authentic. It's not because it's your sponsor, but
100%.
it feels like you really love that brand.
Wilson was my first racket in tennis too, that I play with and everything, and I mean, they're a huge brand. So, and my idol is Rafa Nadal, but I always like Roger Federer and his style and everything, and he was a Wilson guy too, so I love Wilson. But nothing, I got into paddle. Well, the first member in my family that got into paddle was my mother. My mom started playing paddle in 2010.
Oh wow!
Very early.
So I cannot play with her. She's gonna beat me.
No, I mean, she still plays, you know, and she got better. I'm not gonna say she didn't, but you know, like she's an amateur. She has fun. She got my dad also involved into playing. So my dad used to play tennis with me a little bit. Then my mom was like, I'm gonna try a racket sport. She started doing paddle. I was just like seeing her play. I was seeing my tennis coaches play, but I didn't have time to play. So I saw it as a sport that looks fun, but I don't really know much about it, so I'm sticking to tennis. But then when I really started playing a lot of paddle was in the summer and winter breaks during college. Okay. So tennis got to a phase where I really enjoyed it, but I needed some breaks. Yeah. So it was very intense during those 4 months in the fall and in the spring. So summer breaks for me were amazing because I would go back to Spain for like 3 months and a half. Wouldn't touch the tennis racket, and I would only play paddle. Wow. So I started training there with some friends, started learning a lot about the game, started watching all the games in World Padel Tour back then. When I was back in Virginia, I couldn't play paddle because there were no courts, but I was watching the tour. So I got hooked up to paddle through the tactics and all the different aspects of the game. And then I always like net game, and as I told you, team competition. And the fact that you can play with a teammate next to you and all of that, I always liked. So that's when I started. I started when I was already in college, and it was tough for me to, in August, when I was playing my best paddle, I had to leave and go back to college and go back to tennis. But you know, I had my rest.
Making
so it was
compatible
okay.
somehow.
Exactly.
And there's kind of a big debate, not a big debate, but a little debate on paddle, if it's an individual sport played in pairs or if it's a minimal viable team sport. how do you see that, even that you like sports that are team sports?
Yes. The way I see it on Padel is that you cannot play Padel alone. And regardless if your teammate is better or worse than you or the same level, you're going to have to adapt to what he brings to the table. The same way that he needs to adapt to what you bring to the table. So if you don't know how to do that, you can be the best player ever, you're not going to succeed. So there are a lot of tactics behind it depending on your tools, weaknesses and strengths and everything. So just because of that reason, for me, it's a team sport.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that, because I feel sometimes that it's very individualistic, right?
You can train alone.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you cannot train alone, but you're training alone things that you know that you're going to bring to the table with your partner next to you.
Mm-hmm.
If not, there will be competitions in Padel of 1v1, and we've never seen those yet. So, I mean, it's a way to train, but at the end, the beauty of this sport is in the teams and the matchups that you create, the different conditions of the court, the balls, and everything that makes it, you know, every match is different.
Yeah. So you decided to come to Miami, right?
Yes.
With Padel already in your mind. How was that decision and that journey to come here?
I honestly wasn't sure about what to do after college. I had a clear idea, which was to stay in the US after graduating and everything, but I didn't know what I was going to be doing. So I was applying to some jobs about finance and what I studied in college, but then I wasn't so sure about it. I honestly don't like to sit down in an office for the whole day. I'm an active guy. I love sports, and I always love the idea of combining what I study and business with sports. I always love that. So then I was like, I'm enjoying a lot Padel right now. Every summer when I go back to Spain, let me check if there is Padel in the US, because in 2023, I wasn't so sure about it. So I started looking. I did a lot of research and nothing on Google, just searching, okay, let's see what I can find. And then I realized, okay, if I want to do anything with Padel in this country, it's got to be in Miami. So that's when I started looking, I started reaching out to people, and then got some opportunities here and there. And in May 2023, I got to Miami.
Okay, and where did you go? Because first time I saw you, it was in Ultra, when Ultra was just starting.
Yes.
And you became kind of the right hand of Fernando at that point. They had 8 courts, it was a new club. They had, like, everybody was waiting to have, like, indoor courts, so it was, like, the place to be, I guess, plus the outdoor courts. Exactly. And I think you became very successful in 2 ways. One, managing the club, but also starting to compete with him. It was kind of a surprise, like, who is that lefty that is putting everybody in trouble to play again? So it was a surprise, but also a great evolution, right? So how was that, getting involved from 0 to 1 into Padel?
First of all, I want to thank Fernando for bringing me the opportunity to come to Miami, to work at the club, and to do all the things to compete next to him and everything, because he was one of the mentors that I had in Padel so far, and that was a great opportunity for me. And when I was coming to Miami, driving my car for 13 hours from Virginia, I wasn't sure what was gonna be the experience like. So nothing was, you know, on the table for me. I was just ready to work, get involved with Padel, get to know new people, and get to know about the business of what it is to have a club. You know, I was passionate about teaching, I was passionate about playing, but also about the business itself. So I think I got lucky also with timing and the place where I went, which was Ultra back then. It was amazing. The club, the amount of people that were getting through the door was crazy. The sport wasn't as developed as it is now. You don't have as many options back then. So, I mean, I got to meet a lot of people. I worked like a workaholic, but I don't regret it. And I had such a nice time there. I stayed there for a year. And then I took into a new adventure, you know, but it was good. It was good.
So before we touch like the other adventure, I would like to get a little deep into the competition part, because I think a lot of people discover you because you were improving each week, each tournament. You were a better player, like an amazing learning club, learning curve. So how was that, jumping into Padel competition, coming from tennis and also working and breathing Padel?
It was a challenge. It was like, okay, I want to compete, but I want to keep working, obviously. Let's see how we can do it. And I started playing with Fernando. He was ranked in the nation, like top 5 or something like that. I didn't know much about the USPA or the tour or anything. And I started traveling to all these tournaments. And then I started meeting these amazing guys that are now all of them my friends, like Luis Estrada, Nico Agritelli, Peter Alonso was already here, Jacobo Blanco, and all the OGs of the US Padel, and competing with them. And at the beginning, it was like a humbling experience, you know, because I mean, I was right there, I was improving every tournament, but it wasn't easy. I was still training and trying to get better on many things and getting used to the tournaments, the traveling, new cities, and everything. So it was super fun, and it also taught me how to teach, not just how to play, and the other way around. So in that sense, the teaching part helped me a lot as a player.
Okay.
Because when I'm teaching, I'm preaching something that it also applies to me and that I need in my game to succeed. So when I'm coaching other players, I'm coaching myself too. And that I never did in tennis. I was always a student in tennis. So I never got to see that part of like, okay, when you're coaching also, those are reminders for you. And I think I improved when I was teaching and when I was training for myself, doing drills and you know, putting in the hours.
Super interesting. And you decided to leave Ultra at some point to start a new club, Platinum, that we were like, when is going to open? Now it's open.
Yes.
It's North Miami. So how was that decision, and what's Platinum right now?
Yeah, so it wasn't an easy decision to make. Obviously, I had a great experience in Ultra, met great people, but they changed owners, they expanded the club, they did a lot of things, and I got myself also a name and opportunities because Padel was growing so much that all these new projects were coming up, and through some friends I got presented the opportunity of having my own project in North Miami, which honestly I like the area a lot. It's more relaxed, you know, compared to the rest of Miami.
Especially now that it's our Basel.
Yeah, exactly. You don't feel the traffic as much. But nothing. So back then it wasn't an easy decision because Ultra was also expanding and there were a lot of opportunities in there too. But I had to make a choice and I made that one. And at the end, the club got delayed a little bit, so I had to wait some months for it to finally open. But I also was feeling like I had been working really hard all those months back at Ultra, plus the competition, and the competition part of it was growing a lot. The tournaments were getting better, better purses and prize money, brands were getting involved, and I also felt that, okay, I want to be also a player, and I want that in my resume, and I want that experience. So let me give some time to competition while I'm waiting for the club and doing other things. It was like a little prize for me, you know, like, okay, you work really hard, let's try to compete a bit more, and yeah.
But I feel, and this is very personal from my observation, right, that you took that time not as a free time, but every time I was asking you, you were telling me, yeah, but I'm talking with the investors and we are planning this. Or I feel like every time you were going to a tournament, you were also doing your own research on the data or the people that went to the club. I remember like in Tennessee or like in New York, every time you are there, you're not just as a player, you're also doing your own research on the classes, the occupancy. Like your brain is also business and data oriented, and I think that makes a difference. So with the right investors, they also understood that you were gathering a lot of data that is super valuable for the company somehow.
Yes. Yeah, I never felt like only a player. And at the end I have, you know, that thing about business that I really like. So when I was more about the routine, you know, those months that I wasn't like at a club every morning and doing this and that. It was more about having my own time to think and see the bigger picture of like, okay, Padel is growing so fast by the minute here in this city and in the country in general, but like that, okay, let's see what's going on and where the opportunities are, and let's go visit all the other clubs that are opening, and let's meet the owners, and let's meet the players, and let's keep traveling. So that free time that I had, it wasn't to go on vacation, you know, to lay down on the beach and drink mojitos, you know. It was more for like, okay, let's keep learning about the sport and the business in a different way, not just the teaching part, also, you know, let's see the opportunities out there. And that, I think I never stopped working in a way, but it was different, you know?
Yeah, it was more invested in your own brain ambition from a business point of view. And since you open, I have several questions related to the management part, the sports part, and the technology part. Like, how was opening a club from scratch in an area that there was no paddle?
Very challenging, especially because the partners of Platinum, you know, they're not paddle specialists. They are real estate people. They didn't know that much about the game. What course do we need to get? The turf, the layout, employees, everything, the programming. So that's when I came in and tried to help them with everything as much as I could, and I think we made a great team. But we also, because it was the first time, we learned from some of the mistakes and this and that. So now they are also paddle specialists. Now they're not just real estate people, you know, and it was a good experience, you know, a lot of work obviously, but at the end it always pays off. So it's fine.
It's good. And right now, who are your team members who are working with you in the club?
Okay, so right now I have Ernesto Rocaber. Okay, he is a great guy. He went to college with me. We played in the same tennis team for like 3-4 years together, and he has a lot of experience teaching tennis and paddle. He lived in New York. He lived in LA, and now recently, half a year ago, he moved to Miami. Good. To help me with the project of the club, and he's been doing amazing. And then we have a couple more part-time coaches, and there is another guy that's gonna come beginning of next year, and that's gonna help us with some other stuff, because we plan on expanding the club and doing more things. So at the end, the club that we have right now is only 4 courts and outdoors. So you know, like how the weather is and everything. So right now the team that we have is really good for what we're doing, but we have plans for more. So
so you're like building the foundation for the next phase.
Exactly, building the team, seeing who really fits in with what we're trying to do and who doesn't, and at the end, little by little, we're progressing the way we want. So it's good.
So my question is also related to technology. You know, that's my thing.
Yes.
And I saw that you recently got into Playtomic. You also have the volley machine, I think. So how did you make the decision on the tech aspects in order to think about the consumer? Yeah,
well, for the volley machine, that got presented to us when I was at Ultra. So we were the first club to get that volley machine, and I think I was using it every single day for me and for the clients, for everybody. And it's an amazing tool. I mean, and they keep improving things and everything. So you see it now on almost every club. So that was a must for us to have. And it's still being used a lot at the club. And then regarding the booking app, Playtomic, I was very used to working with play-by-point because at Ultra, like every club in Miami, we had the play-by-point system, and I got really good at it. So it was hard to be like, okay, new system, get used to it. But honestly, I'm from Spain, so we have Playtomic there. I know how it is as a customer, and the manager part of it, you know, is a bit different, and they're still themselves are getting used to how the clubs work in this country, because it's a bit different what the customer demands. So we're working with them, and we were not one of the first clubs to switch because we wasn't so sure. Everything was new. We were new as a club, so we played safe at the beginning with play-by-point, but it got to a point where every club is switching to Playtomic. They're also providing the things that clubs were asking, you know, all the upgrades and all the things that needed to be changed. So little by little, you start seeing the Playtomic effect where like open matches are happening, the ratings are starting to work better, and at the end, you know, like they have a great app. So yeah, we're really happy with them.
Yeah. To me, I feel like my passport. Like wherever I go, I can find a match that is good for me, but also for those that are playing with me.
Exactly.
If it's well balanced,
if you think about it, the players in Miami, in percentage, most of them are not pro players.
No, but everybody wants a 4, and I can go to Spain with that because they kill me. Like
we'll talk about ratings another day. I don't want to get into that topic too much.
No.
It's a complicated topic. But
yeah, there are big egos here too that get harmed. Yeah, I know.
But no, the ratings are great because I mean it's not a thing that pro players use that much because
they don't need it.
We know who are the players. We're not that many, so we play with each other, and you don't need the number.
Yeah.
But what about all the other players? They need some guidance. They need to know. They need to meet other people. So I think that really helps everybody else. You know, the big majority. So it's good.
Yeah, for a customer product is well done in that way because everybody has fun. No one is frustrated. I remember that time in Real, like time ago, and I started playing 2021, 2022 during the pandemic, that Angel was doing the matches for people. So people were always complaining because everybody thinks they are better than they are first. And then he was trying to find how to fill all the spots of the 4 people. So no one is going to be happy ever.
Yeah.
It's good because it's good. If it's bad, so with this tech, it's been solved. But I remember that time that Angel was doing like matching people and making calls all the time in order to fill the
if
matches.
you see a number there and you know it's something that is not a human doing it, is doing it by itself. It's like you cannot blame anybody or you cannot take it that personal. So it works better. Yeah.
So I've seen that you recently signed for a company that is representing players. So, and I saw your ad and all that. And can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I'm quite curious, and I think the audience is going to be interested also in knowing what's going on in how the paddle ecosystem is growing in the US. And I think these kind of agencies are a good sign of maturity of the market.
100%. So at the end, for me, the agency obviously does much more than just players. But for me, the competition keeps growing, everything every year. The players this year
so
has been...
for those that are listening, because I didn't say the name, what's the name of the company and what do they do?
Yeah, the name of the company, the agency is ESM, Elite Sports Management, and it's Dani Quevedo, okay, a good friend of mine that is doing the agency, or not by herself, you know. She's got some people working there, but she's working really hard on it, and I mean it's great because she helps players like me and Clementina and more players to come, and she helps brands and she helps clubs. So little by little she's gonna start connecting everybody with everybody, and we're gonna get to see more and better of what Padel is, you know. So in that sense it's really good, and for what concerns me more as a player is more about getting support from people so we can keep competing, and at the end the competition is getting much tougher. Now clubs are opening everywhere, so we get to travel more. This year we went to San Francisco, we went to Nashville, we always go to New York. We're lucky that we're in Miami because many tournaments are hosted here, but we go to Texas a lot, San Diego, LA, so there is a lot of traveling going on. And a lot
it's
of
expensive.
Things, and, obviously.
Many times it's cheaper to travel to Spain than travel inside the US.
Obviously, and now it's not like before, where like if you actually want to be up there and compete for the titles and everything, you, besides the traveling and all those expenses, when you're in your hometown, like in Miami, you need to be training.
Yeah.
So like now you need to put the money and the time on like, I need to train with a coach, I need to put in the time, go, and also conditioning, go to the gym, have your personal trainer. So like everything gets, more competitive. So
you need to invest in yourself.
You have to do that. So yeah.
And who is your coach? Like who coaches the coaches?
Yeah, so nothing. I mean, I said, that I had some mentors, in Padel these years, And one of them for sure is Diego Ramos, that is been coaching me for some months now. He works at a reserve in Solemia, which is close to my house. So I try to go there as much as I can to train with him twice a week or whatever I can do, because at the end he is a great player but even a better coach. So he has taught me so much as a player and as a coach. So I try to train with him as much as possible. And then in the physical part of it, I have a good friend of mine from Spain that is my personal trainer, and even though he's not here from Spain, he has an app and everything, so cool. I train everything through him, and he's helping me and a lot of players to improve that part too.
How was your evolution as a player? Like, you went from unknown to being on the top 20 very quick, but the level is also going up here and you are super competitive.
Yeah.
How do you face that?
I mean, at the beginning it was like, I'm not gonna say boring, but because it was exciting to go up in the rankings and everything, but there wasn't those many players, so it was always the same kind of finals and matches and same guys up there, and like one more year comes and it looks like it's gonna be again the same, but then really fast it changed and started changing. So now it's not only how you get there, but to be up there. As of now, it's really hard to keep the positions in the top 10 and everything, because all these players are coming from outside. The prize money is big. Now the points, the USPA is doing a much better job. So now everything has more prestige and people want to play more. So for me at the beginning, I don't know if I got to number 4, number 5 in the US in a matter of less than a year or something like that. But after training with Diego and training in the gym and doing all these things, I'm much better player right now than I was when I was at 4 or 5 in the country. And right now I'm just outside of the top 10, right there fighting for all the matches with all these like younger guys or older guys. If they're older, they have a ton of experience, so it's tough to beat them. If they're young, they're like all day on court, they never get tired, so it's tough competition. I'm right there in the middle. So it's good. I'm in a good spot.
To me, you are very young, I would say.
Yeah. I'm young.
You compare with the others and then you feel like...
Exactly.
And we're talking about how the leveling is and how people are learning. And I think you have an interesting novelty and announcement to share with us. So what are you working on now? What's next?
Yes. So this is actually my own first true like project that I'm doing with Padel since I moved to Miami, and I'm gonna announce this month through the whole month of December for people to start signing up to my Padel Academy.
And what's the name?
The name is Padel Edge. I'll explain now what Padel Edge means, but I'm gonna be opening this academy in Platinum Padel. Okay, so it will be exclusive to Platinum, and I'm doing it with my friend Ernesto. So we're both partners in this academy, and it's very exciting because I think it's something that Miami needs, the Padel community in Miami needs, and we want to do it right. We're not here to open or put a name to something that it isn't. We're gonna deliver all the things that we're saying, because I think it's time for me, after all the things that Padel has been bringing me and teaching me, now for me to give it back to the rest of the players.
So how is Padel Edge Academy gonna work, and what makes it different?
So Padel Edge, well, first of all, the name Padel Edge comes from 2 things. I believe that, and this is coming from my own methodology, from what I learned with all my coaches and players, but basically we have an edge as players and we need to train it. We need mentally, we need to get better, and at the end everybody has their own edge, and that's what makes them different, and that's, if you improve that and you master that, that's what's gonna make you a really good player. And then there is the Padel Edge, which is like the knowledge that you need to have in this game that many people don't have today. They play, they love the sport, but they don't truly know what they're doing at every moment. So they're guessing, they're like thinking, oh, it might be because this or that, but they don't truly know about the game. So I think we're trying to improve the edge of each player while we give them the Padel edge, the knowledge, so they can really know about the game.
I think what you're saying is super important, because many people here play just playing fast or hard or one shot, and this is very personal. But what really made me like engage, it wasn't just that I started with some friends that are still my friends, and we went to play on Friday evening and then go for a pizza and that's it. But it was when I started to see it more like chess, like a game that you need to think what you're doing and what would be next after that move and the options the other have. So there's a lot of kind of analytics into that and decision making, which is very difficult when you have just little amount of time. So automations, reading, like my profe dice, lectura gorda, lectura fina. Like when you start to get into that, it totally changes, but it makes it even more engaging.
Exactly. I mean, the academy probably is not for every profile. You know, in Padel, there is people that just want to get a workout going or talk business. But for me,
some other just want Instagram pictures.
No, or pictures. You know, in Miami, you see everything. But at the end, for me, what gets you hooked up to this sport is learning and being like, wow, this sport has so many things about it that you can learn. That, you need the technique, you need the footwork, you need the tactics, the physical condition. But at the end, you can get away with so many things if you know about the sport and you read your opponents and you know. You can find out ahead of time what the match is asking you to do, and that's the beauty of it at the end. So that gets you hooked up to the game for sure.
Yeah, and I guess that's also difficult when you play with someone that is not like a pure padel player, right? When you sit on the bench and you do the strategy, like competing, how to change that or what to do when there's someone that doesn't speak your language.
Exactly, especially in the US. There are not true padel players that are from here, but they are coming from pickleball, they're coming from tennis, they're coming from many other sports. So they know about sports, but they don't know about padel yet. So we have to, based on their background, be like, okay, because you come from this sport, you're used to doing things this way. So you also learn about those other sports and how to make those players become padel players from their background, you know. So that's something that is going to happen here. It's not like in Spain you see kids already training. Here is starting now, but it's going to take years. So that part is interesting.
Yeah. So going back to Padel Edge, how it's going to work? You're going to have like teams? Because I see a lot of people that like to do classes one-on-one, which is like super special, but then how do you like transfer that to a real match or real competition? So how it's going to work? What's your target right now? So,
you know, the next gen, the kids are really important, obviously, but I think that's a second phase that's gonna that the academy is gonna bring, because Miami is still not fully ready for that. So we're doing a lot of adults that are amateurs from intermediate all the way to high performance. So we're gonna have so many different levels and groups. And right now in December, we're starting to promote the academy, Instagram, right here with you, and with our already clients that train with us, but that we want to bring them something better. So we're letting them know so they can sign up. We're getting all their information about times, about packages that they want to get. So they kind of commit to like 5-week, 10-week programs that they can be like, okay, I'm going to train here. There are going to be different themes about the trainings and the drills, and everything is going to be prepared in a way where like I feel I have like a roadmap, you know, as a player. So we're going to present it like that. And then the academy is set to start in January 12th. So after all the applications are ready, I'm going to sit down with Ernesto, see the players that we have at the times that they want and they can, and start setting up the training teams. And nothing, starting with them. Obviously, this is group training from 2 to 4 players. And there is going to be morning shifts, there is going to be afternoon shifts. It goes from Monday to Thursday only, because I want to commit to training always, every time we can. And I'm traveling some weekends for tournaments, so the academy will only go from Monday to Thursday. and we're gonna do things with the volley machine. We're gonna bring physical conditioning for whoever wants to train also the physical part of the game. And so we're bringing my personal trainer to help us with that.
Good.
And so that will be included in the program too. And yeah, I mean, if obviously that's just more like there's gonna be technique and tactics and everything involved in the group sessions, but everybody at the end, you know, you need some one-on-one sometimes with them. So for those that are part of the academy, they will have also special pricing on privates and all of that if they feel the need of doing privates, which I think is always good. I do privates. I do everything. I do privates, I do groups, I do physical train, everything, because at the end, you can not only play matches, you need to train. But if you never do baskets and you only want to do drills and play points, you also like you need to polish the shots. You need to erase those bad habits that you got from playing. So at the end, there is gonna be a bit of everything. And one of the things that we're also providing the players, which this might not apply to everybody in the academy, but those who are interested and actually actively play in the USPA, they will have full support from us. If we're traveling, knowing the opponents, coaching through the matches, seeing what happened, what went wrong, what went right after playing, and all of that, which I think is a great touch.
Yeah, to me, something that is super helpful is after competing, coming with like a list, because that makes you improve. If you always play kind of friendly, it's not that you don't care about winning or not, and I'm talking about a very low level.
Yes.
But those takes away, you're more aware of the things that you are not doing well, so you can like try to fix that with your coach.
For sure, and that's why regardless of the level, or everybody has goals and everybody has struggles when they're training. So that's another thing that we're doing with players, is that every 5 weeks as they're training, there is going to be a personalized performance report where like, okay, where are we at? Let's see your roadmap. What are your goals? Okay, we need to adjust those. Let's make it more realistic, this and that. Okay, while we train these weeks with the group or privately, let's focus on these shots, on these things. Let's see if we can get them better. 5 weeks later, we review them again. Okay, we're making some progress here, there. So that's also a part where like, you know, you right now, at least in Miami, in Spain or Argentina, it's very different. But like, nobody's doing that. Nobody's like going after a clinic or a private and being hands-on 24/7 support with the players. At the end, it's tough, you know, it's a lot of work. Nobody wants to do the hard part, but if we want to help the sport to get where it needs to get, these things needs to start happening.
It has to be like that, And going back to the academy part, how is it gonna work? Like, people get a package. How do you see the price point? Because I feel like Miami is still very expensive, but right now there are more clubs, more coaches, or people that are self-trained coaches. How do you find like the right price point and the right offer when everybody is asking for a lot of money but with different qualifications?
100%. So first of all, the price point is going to be really similar to what people are already paying for what I was saying, like clinics or these lessons that they're just like, you go there and you don't know sometimes who the coach is going to be. You don't know what you're going to be training. You don't even know who is coming to the lesson. And you're like, okay, today I don't know this guy. Is he good? Sometimes he might be better than you or worse, but you don't know anything. Here, you're going to know everything beforehand. You have a set goal with the coach. So and there's going to be like, you're part of an academy, like you're working together. You feel like supported by your teammates. You're part of something, you know? You just don't go to a club to try a clinic here, try a clinic there. So in terms of that, the price is going to be very similar to what people are used to in Miami, but with all those perks, you know? The other thing that we're doing, going back to ESM, is that the academy will be partnering up with Danny, with Elite Sports Management, in order to try to help those players that, you know, they're trying to compete and do more things, but that their skills are limited, their time is limited, their budget is limited. So we're going to see how we can help those players to be able to afford training here, there, and and that's something that we want to do, you know, like every sport has that, you know.
Yeah.
That's how I got to the US as a tennis player in college.
Yeah.
They gave me a scholarship. If not, it would have been impossible. So little by little, we're gonna start trying to get something like that going.
Super interesting.
So everybody can get a taste of it and see the true value of what an academy brings, which I think Miami still needs to see that.
Yeah. No, but I think what you're saying is super important. In order to invest in the structure of the sport, it's not just good for them or for your club or for the agency, but for the full ecosystem. Because right now, either you live in Miami or you come from a very privileged background, you cannot get into paddle. And that's a differentiator somehow, in order to make it a sport. If we want to make it like a game for rich people, we're already there, and it's fine. I'm not criticizing. I think it's a fact and it's okay.
Exactly.
But when they talk about like the Olympic dream and all that, you need something else.
Yeah.
And democratizing it is important.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Miami, in that sense, is a special case. You know, it's a different city compared to other ones. And then you're gonna see clubs opening, like we're seeing. Some clubs will be more prone to focus on the financials and or making money and being a business, and they won't focus on the methodology part of it and on making better players. They will focus more on the events and all of these things that are great too, but different. And then there will be other clubs that they might not seem as premium or as luxurious, but you can breathe paddle. You know, you can like, okay, this is good, like I'm learning here. I might not be getting, you know, the best restaurant or the best thing at the club that I could get over there, but if you want it, you have it. 10 streets from there, you can have it if you want that. But you can also get something else, you know, which I think as of now, today, because Padel has been growing so fast in the last 2-3 years in Miami, that nobody had the time to stop and be like, okay, they're just focused on like, you know, we need to pay the rent, we need to pay everything, you know, and the coaches and this and that and more courts and all the competition, which it helps, but it also puts a lot of stress on the clubs. So at the end, many clubs haven't had the time, or they don't want to do it, or they can't do this, you know, so.
Yeah, one of the things that I see, and I'm happy to have you as a person that I've been seeing consistently during this time, is a lot of people come and go. It's super sporadic, like opportunistic sometimes. And you wonder, this person wants to be a coach, or is just because it's like quick money that is not that significant here, but out of here. So it is significant. So they can make pocket money for a little time and then they leave you like hang there. And I think it makes a difference when someone is committed to be a coach and does that consistently. So how do you pick the coaches and how do you work on that?
That's tough. I mean, it feels like a transaction between the clubs and the coaches that come and go, because the clubs need the time on court, you know, and the coaches come from the money, for the money sometimes. So it feels like a transaction where like it should feel like, okay, if the club thinks that this coach is so good, go and invest in order to bring him here full time, because Miami and the US, they need that, because many of the coaches that come sometimes, they're great.
Yeah.
I wish they were here, because like it's, you know, amazing to have some of them, but I don't know if they want to come or not. But I know one thing is that Miami at least now has players, it has courts, but it doesn't have enough, not coaches, but good coaches.
Yeah.
So we have to see how we fix that, and it needs to come from some clubs that are willing to be like, okay, I want to get the coaches that truly help the club. You know, I think I can mention Padel House, which I believe they do a great job with that. You know, they are very selective with the coaches they get. They're willing to invest in order to bring people from outside that are willing also to stay here. And they keep opening new locations, and the clubs are nice. And obviously, you know, if they're in some cities where like it's very expensive and it's not affordable for everybody, but
New York is New York, right? Like
exactly,
for everybody.
Exactly. But these things take time, and you can see like which clubs are doing better than others in this sense.
And I'm gonna be a little politically incorrect. I'm doing it myself, yeah. But I feel it's also unfair for those that do things right? Like for those coaches that has been here for years, like having all, like doing the paperwork, doing the right thing. Sometimes it's unfair competition doing that. Like people that follow you, they follow you. It's okay. They don't go against you. But it's also, it's not good for paddle because it looks like the Wild West somehow.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, there are a lot of things that right now they're still underdeveloped in paddling. That's one of them. Here in Miami, in the US, you still, you have that, and the clubs and affordability and the quality of the lessons, and like sometimes the players don't know any better.
Yeah.
They come here, they take a lesson. Oh, it was amazing, this and that. Well, they're new to the sport. They've never been with a true coach sometimes, so they're like tricked by the what Miami sometimes is, which is in a way fake, So it's like, okay, sometimes you fool the clients like that, but like at the end, short term, because if that player truly loves the game and starts coming more and more to train, and they start knowing more players, they start knowing more coaches, and the word of mouth, like you start saying, okay, now I want to try with, oh wow, now it's eye-opening, like what I can learn in like one session with one guy compared to what you can learn in months with another one. For some new customers, new players in the paddle community that are new, they're gonna have a hard time with that sometimes, and it's like everybody, we open clubs, we make mistakes here and there, so it takes time to know what's good and what's not so good.
Yeah, but some people make mistakes and they are not aware, or they try to justify instead of learning from the mistakes. Like, to me, that's the big difference.
Yes.
When you like self-reflect and try to analyze what's going on in order to change the path or to make things better. But if you are super stubborn and repeat the same, it's like, okay, you just want to be right. You don't want to learn. It's okay. In your world, you're right. But that's a big difference. Like trying to understand this ecosystem, how things work. Because something that happens to me is when you talk to people, not just in this, but in business, in many things, like, oh no, but in Spain, or oh no, but in Argentina. Like, okay, but this is not Spain. This is not Argentina. This is another place. It's a great market. There are a lot of opportunities, but you cannot replicate. You can take some aspects, some things that are good, but don't try to do that. Like, for example, I think sometimes about Jose Andres, the chef.
Okay, yeah.
That he conquered the US. Yes. For sure, you go to his restaurant and you get that this is a Spanish restaurant, of course. But he has done some sacrifices. He has done some concessions. He has adapted to what people want here.
To this market, for sure. Which is what the Playtomic is doing, which is what the clubs need to do, the coaches need to do. And that's why Padel Edge as an academy, with Ernesto and I are both from Spain. Mm-hmm. But we're doing the academy in English because we want to support this community of players that, we want to make paddle a US sport, not only a Spanish or sport, that at the end, there is a lot of content and a lot of coaches, and the best of them are there, but they're teaching in Spanish, and it's hard to find good coaches or good things in English. So we're trying to help with that, and we want to make it, like pickleball is made for Americans. We want to make paddle for Americans too, in a way. So we have to adapt that a little bit, so they feel like they're part of it.
Okay, so for those that are watching us, if they want to join your academy, what should they do? How is it gonna work to sign up, do, I don't know, maybe a test if they haven't trained with you before, in order to get the right slots and the right groups? Yes,
so we have a website. Okay, we have the Instagram is Padel Edge. The Instagram is Get Your Padel Edge.
Okay.
And then you have Platinum Padel as a physical location where you can go and ask about it, because it's where it's gonna happen. we're gonna be the month of December sending this to a lot of people and posting the links and everything, because we have a presentation of what we offer and everything, and we'll post a lot of things on Instagram, and we'll repost it and with my personal account, and we'll promote it the right way so it gets to more people than just what we know. I want people to reach out to me. I feel so happy about that, because people reaching out to me that I don't really know who they are, but they're also in Miami and they play Padel.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
That would be a really good sign, because 2 years ago, every club I was going to, I would see the same faces. Now it doesn't happen anymore, so that's really good. So I want that feeling where, like, okay, we're posting about the academy and people are reaching out that we don't know, and there will be like a sign up form with some questions, really quick. With all the information that they can fill up, and once they submit it, we're gonna answer them and reach out so we can organize it and get it ready for January.
Excellent. So it's gonna be a good start of the year.
100%.
Okay, and what does my virtual friend Ángeles Cagigas think about this new venture?
She's really happy. She's very supportive always. I'm going now in 2 weeks for Christmas. I'm going to Spain to see the whole family. They also come here sometimes to see me. They miss me. I miss them. It's like that. But she's always very supportive in everything that I do, and especially on this. She's a Padel player too, so she likes it.
Where does she play? I have to play with her now on Christmas.
She plays in Alcalá, sometimes there. Exactly. But yeah, she plays actually now a lot of open matches. She's getting to know Playtomic more and everything. So I don't know what her rating is, because I've never like coached her for real. I've seen her play, gave her some tips here and there, but no, she's super happy, and she's happy that I found something here in the US that is my hobby and my job, and that I can combine it and do so many different things with competition, club, teaching, and training, everything. So she's happy. My dad also, he was like, no, Padel, let me stick to tennis. Now he's also very happy with Padel, and they watch on TV. They try to see my matches whenever they can also. So yeah, it's good.
Who is your tribe here? Because we're talking with the mics off about Sergio Moruno.
Yes.
So who are the people you usually play with? Your partners in crime, not necessarily partners to compete, but to train, and they're like on the same mood.
For sure. I mean, many of them are here in Miami, obviously, and I have some in Spain too that they come and go, and also in LA and New York. I go there normally like 2-3 times a year at least. So I have some friends there too. But here in Miami, where I go the most between my club and the other club is Reserve in Solemia. So I have a lot of friends there. It feels like home too. I go there with Maxi, with Jero, and all the staff. Like, I get along with them really well, even Gabi and everybody. And then Ernesto, obviously, we work together. And Sergio is a bit farther up north, so we don't see him as much, but he's very intense. So it's okay, he comes and goes here and there, and it's good. It's a healthy relationship.
Yes.
And nothing. I try to train with them also, because they're all in the paddle world. So we train together. We go out together. We do. We have similar hobbies, so we get along really well. And then in LA, there is Luis, that I have a really good relationship with him, and a bunch of other guys that I met there. So it's good. It's a nice. It's not the country is huge, but the community in Padel, or like many of the OGs, that are here, we're not so many. So we know each other really well, and when we see each other in the tournaments, it's always fun, and it's great. We have it's always something, always something. So it's good.
So the only small caveat I see is that you just have outdoor courts right now.
Yes.
So what can we see with that?
But that's gonna change. That's gonna change soon. Those outdoors are gonna stay there, and we're gonna keep them. That club there is working well now. Obviously, this is the high season, and summer is always tough. People leave the town, the heat, the rain. But it's going well. We're gonna keep it there, but because we're planning on opening more locations. So Sometime before the end of the year, we're gonna announce our second location, which will be indoors and will be in Miami.
Amazing.
So that gets me very excited also because of the academy thing that, you know, like it's okay to have it outdoors, but it's not ideal. If you see many of the academies in Spain and Argentina
are indoors.
Some of the clubs are hybrid, which is perfect because you can train inside or outside. It's kind of like the setup that Reserve has in Solemia. It's very good because if you have tournaments outdoors, you train more outdoors, but you can also train inside. So we're gonna be able to do something like that, even though they're gonna be two separate locations. We're gonna have indoor and outdoor.
That's great. So Guille, it's been my pleasure to have you here. Hope to have you again when we have more things to talk about, to know how this is evolving, how it's going, and to get to know more about the academy. I mean, I've done the M3 Padel Week, so maybe we can do something like that, exploring how the academy works and all that, to get like an insider's view or something like that once you have everything set.
100%.
But I'm very happy to have this.
Yeah, of course.
Have you here?
I didn't know when was gonna happen, but I knew this was gonna happen.
It was an open invite.
At some point. Exactly.
You need it.
Before we go, I wanna give you a couple of things that I brought for you. This is.
I feel like Broncano with the gifts.
You know, this is the hat, the same hat that I'm wearing.
I love it.
From the club.
Yes.
And then I also brought a T-shirt.
Oh, it's a Wilson one.
That is Wilson, obviously, and
Sleep.
it's branded with 8 Sleep.
Excellent.
8 Sleep is a brand that I work with. They're in the fitness, wellness, you know, and recovery business, and they're very Mateo, you know, paddle lover and
tech.
I know and everything.
Them from tech.
They're doing a lot of things with They're doing a lot of things with paddle nowadays, and we're doing paddle leagues, and next year there's gonna be more and more. So they're working. That probably have to come another time, and we'll talk about this topic.
Going. I love it
because they're doing a lot, not just with players, but they wanna do their own thing. So yeah, but yeah, this is for you.
You can come with Mateo maybe or something.
Yeah. I'll let him know.
Thank you.
If he's about paddle, he's happy.
He's
you
in.
know? Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about paddle performance and resting on 8 Sleep and all that. Thank you, Guille.
Yeah, thank you, Rosa. Encantado. Muchas gracias.